Welcome back to the Elevate With Us podcast. Whether it's your first time here or you've been here before, please do me a favor and like and share, comment. There's a lot of great content here, just not for realtors. So I have a question for you. Have you ever walked into a room, especially if you're with a lot of people you don't know, and there seems to be people in the room that you're kind of more attracted to or have more an affinity towards, and then the opposite happens? There's a whole bunch of people or a person that you are not attracted to, or like you start a conversation with them, but you don't want to continue, and you don't know why. And I would say it's generally because of the energy they're putting out, or their vibe, or however you want to describe it. And your goal, if you're in sales, is to be putting across that positive energy, a vibe that people are attracted to. And to be honest with you, this was really hard for me because I can easily be negative. And I have spent years working on not being negative. And it's come from a lot of different places. And I like to say the gateway drug to all of this is following something called The Secret. It's truly amazing. It's life-changing. It's actually a documentary. It used to be on Netflix, but I believe now it's only on YouTube. And whether you've heard of it and watched it and tried to follow it before, you're a huge follower it now, which I'd love to hear how it's changed your life. And if you've heard of it but never taken any action, I encourage you to do it. It is amazing. You can also listen to the book on Audible, which is how I started. I believe that we're forever learners, and if you're not learning, you're dead. I don't mean like physically dead, but you're just not moving forward in life. And that book really, really made me think. And so after I listened to it, I watched the documentary, and from what I understand, the documentary came first and then the book. And they are a little bit different in how the information is portrayed. And basically one of their premises is your thoughts become things, and whatever happens, you can make happen and materialize through your thoughts. And so I'm going to go back to what I said in the beginning. So if you've ever been somewhere and you're kind of attracted to somebody, they most likely have a positive mindset. They practice gratitude. They look at the good in everything and move forward from that. And it doesn't mean that everything that happens is perfect. It doesn't mean that they don't have bad things that might happen around them or happen to them per se. Even though things don't happen to you, they happen for you. But let's just say, I'm going to give you an example. This happened to me last night. So I have 2 dogs. One of them might or might not have decided to eat an obscene amount of candy by breaking through a door. Yeah, that did happen. And was up all night. So he was up 5 times. Obviously, I got up with him and let him out. And I'm feeling a little tired today. I really am. But I'm not going to let that control my day, nor I'm going to let it control my mood, nor am I going to allow it to happen to really exist any longer than what it just did. I also have previously suffered from being what I would call a poor sleeper. And I'm going to be pretty vulnerable and tell you something I do at night when I think I'm having a hard time falling asleep. And so I got up 5 times, and I want you to know I fell asleep so quickly each time I don't even remember. But what I do when I wake up, which I have a dog with GI cancer, so I do often wake up in the middle of the night, is as soon as I lay back down, I tell myself, I am a good sleeper. Sleep comes to me easily. I fall asleep seamlessly and easily every single night. And I just say that over and over to myself. And ever since I started that, I have never had a hard time falling asleep. Again, your thoughts become things. One of the most powerful things that I got from the book and that documentary is parking. And I always try it around the holiday times, and I've been just doing it over and over again for like 3 years now, is whenever I pull into a shopping center, I just say to myself, parking spots are easy to find. I always find the best parking. I find parking spots that are close to the front door or whatever it is. And oddly, I always generally find great parking spots. Doesn't take very long. It's inevitable that the car in front of me keeps moving, and then I hesitate and someone at a spot right in front of me pulls out and I get a great parking spot. So I want you to remember a couple of different things. I'm kind of jumping all around. So number one, if you are struggling with connecting with people, think about what you're thinking about all the time and maybe how people are perceiving you. Again, all of us have bad things that happen around us, but you need to learn how to take those bad things, give yourself a minute to allow yourself to be upset about them. Like, for instance, let's pretend you woke up this morning and it was just like a rotten morning. You know, this happens to all of us. You woke up, you stepped in your dog's poop, then you stepped in your cat's vomit, then your kids overslept. It was laundry day and you spilled coffee on your last clean shirt that you like to wear to work. You get what I'm throwing down. All these things happened and you're like, I'm just going to move on with my day. I don't want this day to happen. Give yourself a minute to kind of wallow in that annoying frustration and sadness, and then say, I'm going to have a great day. Money flows to me easily and often from unexpected places. Customers call me and want help with real estate. Customers call me and want me to sell their home. I have so many buyers calling about my listings that we have multiple offers. Whatever it is that you're working on, practice it and say it. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I have my affirmations, which is what I just went over a little bit, on my phone, and I read them every day. I know them well, so I can just say them while driving, but I like to say them out loud as well as in my head. I actually, some of you heard me talk about this. I walk a lot and I say them out loud while walking. I walk when it's dark outside right now, and sometimes when it's dark in the evenings as well, and there isn't really a lot of people around, but that wouldn't stop me from doing it anyway. So by practicing gratitude every single day, you can also write them down. There's a lot of evidence on how important that is. Really, the only thing that matters is that you do them. And you could do them while drinking your coffee, say them out loud. You could write them down. But all of these different things I'm talking about is allowing yourself to have some bad things happen, moving on from them, finding what's good, and practicing that gratitude and practicing those affirmations is going to lead you to have a better vibration, a better vibe, a better energy. So people are going to be attracted to you. And I don't mean like want to date you. I mean, they're going to find whatever information you're giving to be, I use these words a lot, even though I know it's not proper English, more better, because they like what you give, you know. And the best part about this is if you feel like you're a negative Nancy and this just doesn't seem like something you could do, I absolutely promise you that if you do this every day for 30 days, which really isn't that long, and you maybe it means you get up 15 minutes earlier because this is not a big time commitment, and you change your morning routine, and instead of starting your day begrudgingly, like shuffling yourself into the shower and using that to wake up, what if instead you wake up, make yourself a cup of coffee, sit down and write down affirmations, and then say your affirmations. And they can be so simple. They can be, you know, I am grateful for waking up early. I am grateful for the opportunity to walk my dogs. I am so thankful that I have a roof over my head. I am so thankful that I have a car to drive. I am so thankful I have bills. That sounds really crazy, but you're thankful for bills because it means you have the ability to pay them, or you have stuff because of the bills. You can turn any negative into a positive. And if you're not following and you're like, well, I have this going on and I don't know how to make that positive, reach out. I really, really have changed my life by having a lot of gratitude. I'm going to share something really vulnerable that not a lot of people know. So many of you know I'm divorced, but what you don't know is what I gave up or what I changed in order to be here today. Today I have my own house and my own car and a real estate business and a real estate brokerage. But when I was going through my divorce, I was just getting back into real estate full time. I had been an assistant for a few years, and my divorce was not good, as in the fact that it was very tumultuous. There was a lot of ugliness in it, and about 50% of every week, I didn't have anywhere to stay. I didn't have the means to rent something or to stay in a hotel, because we all know real estate's hard and expensive in the beginning. So I couch surfed a lot. There were about 5 different families that I would stay with, and I had to learn to be happy about it, even though it was hard and uncomfortable. And you know what the hardest part about all that is? Being involved in people's evening routines, because I've learned now that I've stayed with so many people that there's certain things they do at night that is super different than what you would want to do at night. And the hardest part is watching their TV shows. It's like such a personal thing. And you might have already seen the show they're watching, or you might have started it and not liked it, or there's just a million different reasons that it's very, very hard to unwind properly when you don't get to do what's authentic to you at night. For me, that was the hardest thing to balance while spending 2 to 3 nights at a time at other people's homes. Is, you know, dinner's one thing. Everybody eats different foods. Everybody prepares them a different way. Not that hard to adjust to, but that evening routine of kind of what happens after dinner and before bed was really, really, really tough, especially if you were sleeping on their couch where they were watching TV. So you really couldn't like hide per se, or relax, or do your own evening routine and watch Netflix on your iPad or whatever it is. So I really learned how to find gratitude in every single day in order to get through that. And that went on for nearly a year, like just shy of a year, where I would stay at people's houses when they were on vacation, because I knew that then I kind of had the whole house to myself, and there was always a guest room or an office where I could stay, or I quote unquote pet sat for people to have somewhere to stay. And I mean, I'm so thankful for the people that allowed me to stay with them, because I don't know what I would have done otherwise. I didn't have family that lived here, so I couldn't stay with them. So that experience really caused me to dig deep and to find gratitude, happiness, and something positive in every single experience. I used to say things like, I am grateful that I'm not sleeping in my car. I'm grateful that this didn't cost me any money. I'm grateful for dinner. I'm grateful for the couch, because it was really, really tough. So I don't think a lot of people knew that struggle that I had, because I didn't vocalize that it was hard, because I didn't want to and I didn't need to. Instead, I took something that a lot of people would have used as an excuse to be sad, to do the flip side of it, and to work extremely hard to, you know, prevent that from happening. And I've used that experience to help a number of friends that have gone through a divorce to ensure they have a place to stay and a bed to sleep in, because it's a hard process. So back to your energy, your vibe, whatever you're putting out. So again, most people did not know that struggle, that perhaps I didn't get a good night's sleep then because I was sleeping on someone's couch and their dog was jumping on me or their cat was licking my face. And I still woke up every day with a great attitude and grew a great real estate business and interacted with people in a positive way. And go back to, if you're in a room of people, especially if they're strangers and they're people you don't really know, you know, as realtors, we go, hopefully you go to a lot of events and education events, and there's often some like schmoozing in the beginning, and you'll find that people are attracted to the same person, and it's because of their energy. It's because of their positive attitude. It might be because they're a successful person as well, but I'm going to go ahead and guarantee that their success, a lot of it is attributed to the fact that they're positive. I bet you they spend time every day thinking about and writing down what's gone well, and thinking about how that day served them in a great way. So I'm going to talk about something else that I mentioned, which was a really great mindset shift for me, was not having a victim mentality, right? Like, whoa, woe is me, blah, blah, blah. Again, every day, I think all of us have sad things happen to us, whether in the past or something that we're going through now. And we can all cry every day about something, but it's not worth it. So instead, remember that things don't happen to you, they happen for you. So even when something negative happens, how you react to it is going to dictate your entire day. Now, I do believe when you have, one of those yucky mornings like I described, like you stepped in the dog poop, the cat vomited, you spilled coffee on your shirt, and it was the last clean one you had because it was laundry day. I think if you don't give yourself the opportunity, 5 minutes to kind of like be like, ugh, can't believe this happened. I wish I could just go back to bed and start over. And what's funny is I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea to like go through the motions of, even if you're already dressed, like it is actually it just feels so good, so cathartic. You like go back in your bed, you close your eyes, you like count to 10, and you like wake up again. And sometimes that like very brief, fresh start is what you need to kind of change your attitude to ensure that you have a great day. Because if you're in real estate, you know that this job can be really tough and it can be really, really mentally challenging, right? Especially if you are a cold caller, which I was. I used to call hundreds of expireds a week. You got to get used to no. You got to get used to people yelling at you. And instead of crying about it, I used to celebrate it. I'd be like, get off the phone. And I used to, write down the numbers, and I'd be like, I was cussed out 4 times today. Woo! And if you celebrate it and make it fun, it does not feel as damaging as it does if you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I was yelled at again, or told I was, a crappy realtor, or whatever it is. Celebrate it, embrace it, and just move on. And remember that person had a really bad experience with a realtor, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't call them again in a couple days to hopefully change their experience with realtors, because that's why they're grumpy, is because they were disappointed. Their expectations weren't met, right? If you're cold calling expireds, they expected their home to sell. It didn't. And now you're just another realtor calling them. So there are other opportunities or options you can use to kind of change your mindset. I would suggest going to the dollar store and buying a really pretty, it's incredible how many beautiful notebooks they have there. And, right on the first page, it's your gratitude journal. Go to Amazon and buy one. Some gratitude journals, they're like $5. And in them, they're going to have maybe some prompts and some beautiful quotations about gratitude to kind of help you get there. But all you have to do is spend a few minutes every day writing the things you're grateful for, which could be the same things every day. You could be grateful for your family, your house, your dog, the opportunity to work out. I mean, there's a lot of different things. And then separate from that, you can practice, affirmations. I've said a couple of them already. I would say one of the most popular ones from The Secret is that money flows to me easily and often from unexpected places. And you can say that 100 times a day, 1,000 times a day. You can say it while driving, while working out. You can just say it in your brain. You can say it out loud. But there's other things you can say. You can say things like, I close 150 real estate transactions every year, or my income is limitless, or my income is $500,000 a year. And you can also pair that with imagery, a vision board that correlates to your affirmations. It's really, really powerful, especially if you look at it every day. But I feel like I just opened a can of worms, and that's for another day. We're in the third quarter, so it's a great time to reflect on your goals, see what adjustments need to be done to ensure you meet those goals, and to start working on your vision board for 2025. If you're not right now working on 2025, you're behind. I'm gonna let that sink in. If you're not currently working on 2025, you're behind. You cannot start working on 2025 in January. You need to work on it now. I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm not trying to scare you. Again, think of it as an opportunity. I have a time in abundance in order to work on my 2025. I struggle with time. There's only so much of it, right? I like to say it's the only thing you can't get more of, so don't waste it. And with that, if you are struggling with time, I suggest you figure out what you do every day. And what I have found is most agents feel they're working 174,000 hours a week, and they tease it out, and we make them write down from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. what they do. And they're like, yeah, I don't work nearly as much as I thought. I don't have good boundaries with my cell phone, and so I always have it with me, so I always feel like I'm working. But there are some hours where I just spend 5 minutes working, and the rest of the time I'm, scrolling Facebook or scrolling Pinterest or watching Reels, and I'm not really getting done what I need to get done. So you can say things like, there is enough time in every day for me to get all my work, family, and fun completed. The bottom line is, when trying to change your thought process, you have to be extremely committed to make it happen, because you want to be the person in the room that people are attracted to. If you are with a group of strangers, you want to be the one people want to have conversations with, because real estate is not really about sales. Real estate is about relationships. And those relationships can and should and will lead to real estate transactions. But without those relationships, you don't have anything. And there might be some relationships that you nurture for 5 years before that person is ready to do something real estate related, or by the time they really know someone, or before you've trained them to, when they think of real estate, to think of you. So if you are struggling to connect with people, and this doesn't really matter if you're an introvert or an extrovert. I'm also going to say something surprising is most people don't realize that I'm actually pretty introverted. I've labeled myself as an extroverted introvert. I might seem outgoing, but I'm actually pretty shy, and I get very exhausted when I'm with groups of people and require a lot of quiet downtime. One of the reasons why I drive in silence if I'm not listening to a book is because I need that silence to kind of recharge, especially if I'm in between events or whatever it is. And the same thing why I walk in silence. So it's really important to just ensure that if you are on the introverted side, that maybe some of your affirmations have to do with talking to 10 new people a day. Again, relationship based. So if you want help in putting together gratitude or affirmations, I'd love to hear from you. I actually have probably about 25 different worksheets on this. Now I just sounded like a teacher on that. So if you have any questions about that, I would love to hear from you.